With Broadlume, and I'm here to work with you on Training Tuesday. We're going to do the work today, and we are talking about the RLM and BMS integration. So just a couple assumptions here before we get started. The first assumption is you're using RLM, or you want to, for tracking and managing your leads. This helps to make sure that you have a full-blown experience having each step in your sales journey mapped out. You're also using BMS. That's formerly known as Rollmaster for a lot of you, but that's for organizing your sales processing, so building out quotes, orders, tying that all into your inventory and accounting systems. And finally, that you want these two systems talking together and working hand in hand, because the right data available in the right place at the right time helps both you and your customers. So some of the things that we're going to go through today are a general overview of how the integration works, how to sync customers, quotes, and orders, where this information will live in RLM, what it looks like to get the notes and how those are updated, any files that are attached, and then a quick recap on what we learned today. So, what is the integration and why did we invest time into building it? It's really about getting more data where and when you need it. So the value add is that your employees can now see critical quote and order details from RLM without having to log into a desktop BMS app. This just means that you get all the superpowers of BMS in your desktop, building the quotes, building orders in a really responsive and quick and snappy way, while also still being able to get all that information at your fingertips when you're out in the field or working with a customer directly on the phone. So the general flow of data between BMS and RLM is quite simple. So from RLM, you have a lead, and that lead is then synced either by matching an existing customer record or creating a new customer record in BMS. Once you have those two synced, you can then sync quotes and orders. So you're going to select individual quotes and orders. You can do multiple ones, but a quote and an order can only be linked to one lead. Those cannot be duplicated to different leads. Once those are synced, then the magic happens. We will automatically send any quotes inlined data over to the lead detail page in a new tab for quotes and orders on the lead detail page in RLM, which is really great because that's where all your customer information lives as they're going through that customer experience of doing a sale for your business. They also then have any notes or related files attached to that detail page as well. So all of that information now is just a couple clicks away. So how does this happen? Well, step one starts with syncing a customer. To do this, you go to the lead detail page in RLM, you click on More, then you click on Customer Sync. This opens up a side pane, and you have the option to first search for a customer. And what's going to happen is it's going to go and query all of the available customer records in your BMS software. And it's going to look for any matches on email, phone, first and last name. If it finds them, it'll return all of these in a list, and you'll simply select which one is appropriate. And then click Sync Customer. If it finds none, or you choose to create a new customer because none of these are quite right, then you can always have that option. Step two. So here we'll be syncing quotes and orders. So after syncing the customer, you'll then be able to sync quotes and orders. So you'll pull back a full list of all the available ones that match that particular customer ID, and you'll be able to choose each of those that are appropriate for this particular lead. It may be one, maybe two, sometimes more, but usually each of these will relate to a single lead or opportunity. And then just click this bottom button here to sync that quote and orders. So what does this do? Well, new to RLM, we now have a quotes and orders tab here in the lead detail page. By clicking it, you'll see not only this full list of those quotes and orders you synced, but also all the related information and details that you may want to know while you're reviewing this information. And you can always expand by clicking this caret in the far right-hand side to see the line items, which is really handy should you want to confirm what specific items the customer ordered and what the available sale quantities were and unit prices for each of those. Furthermore, up in the top left-hand side, we have handily summarized all of the attached or synced quotes and orders to give you the totals for those. This makes it much easier to copy and paste this data into the quote amounts or sale amounts for that particular lead. These are not being automatically dropped into those fields to protect their source of truth for BMS, but also to make sure that we don't overwrite any existing data that you may have already put in there. So if at any time you need to change which ones are synced, you can do so by clicking on this button here in the Quotes and Orders tab, top right-hand corner. It says Edit Linked Quotes and Orders. You may often need to do this because you now have added a new order, or you need to break a quote down into separate leads that you want to work independently. Next, we'll talk about notes. So the Notes tab in RLM is where you'll find all of the historical record of information and events that have happened with that particular lead. We'll now begin syncing those same events and changes from BMS to here about what's going on with those quotes and orders. So for example, here you see that you have three orders, and you have one new imported Broadlume BMS note. Additionally, any notes that are attached to or added to a job or quote that's synced to this particular lead will now be pinned at the top of this Notes tab. This is because those notes are likely very important. They're something that you're going to want the person to see when they pull up this particular lead or working with this customer, so they are automatically pinned at the top. Similarly, we have files, and files are often added to quotes and orders. You could think of these oftentimes as being things like measurements or pictures of an installation job, or perhaps some other type of special pricing or invoices that they've wanted to include. These are referred to in BMS as eDocs, and in RLM they are called files, but they're one and the same. So eDocs in BMS are added to quotes and orders, and these will populate in a synced lead in RLM. And you'll even be able to recognize them because the created by will be something to the effect of BMS quote, and then the quote ID that it's pulled from, or BMS order and the order ID that it's pulled from. So I want to do a quick recap. So the enhancements to the integration between BMS and RLM provide you with a way to now see quotes and orders directly documented and linked to a given lead. This helps establish the value of that particular lead for the business and gives you quick reference to everything that is happening with them further into the life cycle of that particular sale. And all of this is organized in a new tab on the lead detail page, plus notes and eDocs, which are critical information for that particular lead, are included as well. So benefits being sales reps now get to see the quote and order details from RLM, and you get improved lead management capabilities throughout the life cycle of the customer. Thank you so much for your time. For any help and info, or if you want to add this integration to your account, please contact support@broadlume.com. Thank you so much. Bye.